They don't know how to deal with the time.
Well,
Like in 3D, you're saying.
yeah,
right?
yeah, because like you say, you know,
How
it's
to
like
become timeless.
yeah, how to become timeless, how not to be, you know, imprisoned by time in this reality.
You already know the answer. Answer that.
Well, the only thing I can see is really start accepting the. Again, it's just the idea for me right now, because I don't experience this yet. But it's the idea that the essence of me, it will
You
never
don't
die.
experience what yet?
Well, I mean, I experienced through the, you know, near-death experience that I know that I was watching myself and, you know, I was observing and my thoughts was very clear and there was no pain, there was peace.
Timelessness.
Timelessness,
When
yeah.
else have you experienced timelessness?
When I create,
See, there you go. That's
when
why
I'm
it's not true what you're
enjoying
saying.
things, you know, when I feel like, I remember even Sam in the Blue Moon one time was like, we have a party with people and the time stopped because we have so much fun. You know, the way we were connected, we have so much fun at that time, so we don't feel the time.
What about when you're in your meditations?
Yeah, the meditation, that's the other things. And but how to feel,
What about when you're dancing?
well, generally expressing yourself through the art and joy. You know, if it's going to be dancing or making mathematic, you know, equation that you love,
Yeah.
you know, whatever it is.
No, yeah, I'm just giving examples for you, what you, because somebody else, they can experience timeless. What about driving and listening to music?
Yeah.
When all of a sudden, why does it feel like it took 5 hours to get there and 2 hours to come back? That's
listening
all.
a book which grabs you, you know,
Yeah.
it's the same things. You just don't pay attention to time. But we
Listening
are
to a
in
song
the.
you like.
I understand all
Being
that.
high on certain
I
drugs.
understand on all this, but you know, we still live in the construct of time. You know, you
Yeah, but
will
you
have to
said-
go back.
You started when you go back, you said, I don't experience this here. So, which I'm saying that's not true at all. You are.
No, when I'm
it's
saying
happening.
no, I know the in the little pieces,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't experience timelessness yet.
What
No.
about in the dreams?
Well, dreams are such an enigma right now for me that, you know, I feel like there is a part of reality in the dream light, in the dream world, but very often I remember just little pieces. And
Because time isn't linear. So that's another example of you. Just now, everything we can grasp or time becomes losing its concept of linearity. Those are the moments that we can, you know.
but I know one thing, the time when I'm in pain,
That's the most density here.
yeah.
Pain is the expression.
When I'm in the physical pain, which unfortunately I still experience,
Time slows.
time is just 5 minutes can be like hour or longer.
But then again, if you experience there's such a high level of pain, then you can also go out of body almost, because you will eventually. And then through pain, there's another experience of time loses. You really can lose the whole concept of time.
Well,
That's
they're
what they
putting people
do.
under anesthesia when they're doing surgery because they know, you know, they can cut you in pieces for 10 hours and you're not, you know, you don't exist in this time. Where are you? I cannot say because I was under general anesthesia. I don't remember anything, nothing. Like when you know, when you wake up from the time when you sleep, you can remember even some little bit of pieces of dreams, but from anesthesia you don't remember nothing. It's like it's a void.
Yeah, because you come back here. It's the same as we don't remember our past lives. If you under anesthesia died, it would be the opposite. You would start, you know, going into that other side. So it makes sense that when they, you know, put us to sleep through anesthesia, it's like all that's really happening is you're you're not losing your consciousness. Your consciousness is there. That's why there are, many people that do have, they're watching themselves. And you've had that experience as a baby where you said you were watching yourself from above in your crib. But, most of the time through anesthesia, it's just a temporarily, it's the same way as in our sleep time. We don't remember the times that we don't remember. We remember the dreams we do. Otherwise, it's like being in a void. We don't remember anything. But does that mean that we weren't there? It doesn't really even matter, because when that's kind of void happens, it's like you're not there anyways, in the sense of...
Well, but it happened in our reality also, we can meet some friends and they tell us about some story that we were a part of the story and you completely don't remember.
Yeah.
So the question is, I was there, they see me there, but my memory cannot reconnect with that part.
Yeah, and I think it's like, we can only... That part... If we truly don't remember something, we're not going to constantly be in like, oh my gosh, what was there? If I was there but I don't remember that I was there, it will show when it's time for it to show, or it won't. Like we all we have to deal with is, and that was kind of what I felt to the question in general. How do we in 3D start going into what the book we're reading to saying, and going into more of breaking the illusion of time? You deal with now, and then you deal with the now, and then you deal with the now, which will contain all your memories, whatever is like I said before, the past and the future, they exist, but you're still baby steps. We're not gonna poof into here we're in time. Now we're in timelessness. The quickest we do that is through dreams, because we go into the deepest type of... Now we're just learning that we can actually access different states, like the dream. We have the beta, theta wave, all this different. We have way more states of consciousness that we can be in. Right now we're locked into almost two, like dream or reality. When in fact there are so many different states of consciousness where we can access different things, and
which we in some way we start kind of like scratching the surface of it.
What is important though is actually time itself. The linearity can also be a gift. We only want to escape linear time because of what we've created in the linear time. But when we start being like where we can access all different states, we might learn that sometimes we do want to have some kind of time agreement, because being in something that is completely higher dimension, where there is no concept of some kind of linearity or something where you have some order. That's why everything exists as sacred geometry, because those are the agreements of how we perceive and experience a certain reality. Here, it's just the sacred geometry's been hijacked and fragmented to where there is no sacred geometry. It's black and white checkerboard. Separation. And now we're going to move back towards the freedom of being able to experience all the different points of the consciousness states, which each will be having a type of sacred geometry, which is holding the whole reality. But we will become free. The time thing here, it's not actually about the linearity experience. It's about not knowing who we are, that we can exit this particular linear perception and really go into any that we want.
No, that's what I say in my meditation a few nights ago, when I say, recognize the gift of physicality, the gift of being able to touch, and also anticipation of waiting for our creation. It doesn't happen help me.
Simultaneously.
Yeah. And it's just, it's the anticipation can be actually joyful.
Yeah.
You
It's
creating.
more rewarding.
Yeah, it's rewarding. You're creating, and that you don't need to be afraid, because what you create is not only benefiting you but others, and because you understand the connection with others, how the law of physicality and linear time operate.
Yeah.
But it's great to know this, in the theory, but to bring this to this reality, it's very difficult. Yes. Because we must be really like a chosen in some way in this universe.
Like all of us.
Yeah, all of us. I'm not saying here. Me and you.
Yeah.
I'm saying all of us to agree to play this game.
Yeah, because it really takes masters at this level of disconnection for us as a humanity, as to remember who we are.
Yeah.
And that's why each and every one of us here, we are at the turning point of the game. We are at the lowest point of the game, the biggest separation that's just started to, turn the other way. So we are amazing players, everybody here. Just looking at this particular universal experience as, a game that we're in. And game isn't even, the right word. We just have such a limitation of language, of expression.
But we understand what we're saying.
I know, but I'm just, I'm saying that...
we don't have enough words right now, sometimes, to express what we would like to express, but, yeah.
But what we said, too, a second ago, that you said that sometimes waiting for something, the reward it can be amazing. So that kind of really connects on the macro with why when, I feel like I'm, getting like really higher, soul information, it's all saying you can't even imagine the rewards. And I said, reward again it's not about, because it has almost a negative connotation in our, reality here that we made, punishment, reward. It's not like that, like, oh, here's your prize for doing this game. It's bigger than that. But I guess that the time that because we had to wait a fucking long time. We've done this for millions and millions of, it's been a long time, but yet we're still alive. We've made it, and we're gonna make it further. So I guess the rewards, how they always say, has to be equal, greater light to every piece of bad. There has to be tenfold or whatever fold of good. So on the basis of our longing, on the basis of our suffering, on the basis of our tears, of all of that, we're creating new desires, which are birthing realities that are beyond beautiful. They're not even like something that we can grasp right now.
Well, I think what we need to do really with the knowledge of infinite, immortal consciousness individually, because that's we're talking about me, you, or whatever other people, humans, is the knowing that we have to let go of the program and stop repeating, because we create completely unconscious and we agree with that creation. And people who are less awake right now, they're gonna do everything to hold to this old paradigm. They're trying to slow down everybody because it jeopardizes the kind of comfort in the prison. Even like you say one time, watching that show, the Orange is New Black, and you say, you know, but they feel more connected there, even with their pain and fear and anger. They still more connected than we are sometimes outside the prison.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a very, very, you know, obviously that can be interpreted in many. I don't mean that from a nobody wants to be.
No,
in prison,
I understand.
But
no,
there's a more sense of community.
Yeah.
So I was just saying that you.
No, but you know, you see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
you
I'm
know,
just
you know. I'm
explaining
saying,
for
but let me
potential
finish
listeners.
my thoughts in this case,
Yeah.
because you know, when you're in prison, you know you're gonna have a shitty meal, but gonna be at this time. You don't need to worry about that. You're gonna go sleep, that's your bed, you cannot have more. You're gonna create your little universe. You are always with people. Some of them you're gonna like, some of them you're not gonna like. This is practically how we live outside the prison.
Because this is a prison.
Yeah, because it's a prison. But you know, when you start jeopardize this and you cannot offer them anything that you can prove physically, that is a completely crazy concept.
Wait, who jeopardized who? What?
Okay, when you start talking about stuff that we're talking about, you know, waking up, timeless, you know, but you in the same times, you cannot offer them a physical evidence of something, then it jeopardizes that kind of comfort that they create or constantly recreating over the eon of times.
Yeah, we're on a because we generally are, you know, the whole. We've been I mean, that's another subject, but we've been traumatized just so much that it's easy to keep people in control and locked on a wheel because we fear so much of what we project onto the unknown that we will take the shittiest known.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We will take the crappiest known that is okay. That's why we stay in abusive relationships even, because we know more or less what to expect. You've gotten used to it, you've adapted to it, because so many times
you justify, you survive again, you know.
Yeah,
it's like you compare yourself with others,
because so many times in our past, in our memories that are, you know, more recent past lives, every time we've tried to step out of the, you know, current normal, we were punished for it. We were burned at the stake, we were killed, so we went into more and more, it's better to shut up and just have whatever they give us. You know, okay, I have my TV, I have my in the jail is okay. It'll be like, all right, well, I have the better cell right now, you know, and it's better than on the outside with whatever, you know, shit they got going here. At least I kind of know some people and we can relate to each other, right? Then on the outside where they have to survive in this bullshit world of, you know, lots of different. So that's where we get stuck on this loop. And yeah, it's difficult to change your beliefs when we're just a traumatized, you know, beings. We're traumatized. And we have to start believing that we can actually create, that we can start projecting onto the unknown something from love, not from fear.
Yeah.
We project pretty much fear onto the unknown. And then this whole system going on to that, it's divide and conquer. So it makes it even strengthens that, because you feel like, okay, if I start changing something, I'm alone in this. I'm gonna lose.
Yeah, you're gonna be ridiculed, you're gonna be, you know, everything.
And what if I'm wrong, right? That can start slipping in too. Okay, I tried, but, you know, failed at this in their eyes or whatever, so it starts creating insecurities in ourselves. So then we sometimes revert and go, fuck it, you know, it's better to just shut our mouth than, you know, be, you know, again, killed and ridiculed. And that's what happens every time that, you know, it's breaking. And the strongest are also the people that are you know, to their idea, succeeding in this reality, that they feel like, yay, look, but I must have done something good. I have my house, my wife, my kids, my, you know, bank account. I deserve this. They are the ones that are even harder to crack, because
They don't want to give their comfort. They were justified by the society that that's what it's right.
I think more than that, because sometimes they don't have to lose their comfort, but if they start realizing that there's whole new potential realities, and that your little boat and house is not really, you're not really that big of the shit, because on the bigger scale of things, other things are more important. It's the fear of having, they don't want to look at their own self, that maybe, because they hide under the cover of, I deserve this, other people are homeless because they're not smart, because they didn't work as hard as me. It's not, they don't want to look at themselves. They want to constantly be in the lie of, did good, I did well, I worked hard, they didn't work hard. So when we start shifting beliefs and opening, their mind to have to kind of look at, oh shit, wait, I'm living in this mansion, well, but he's my brother, he's my family, what really matters in this universe, our bodies, everything, we're all dying. What matters then? Our looks, all that stuff is fading. Wait, my car, the last year was the best car, already this year there's some other car that's, it's a constant.
And I can put million Botox, I still gonna age.
Yeah. Time.
Well, I guess when you say, little by little, start experiencing the timelessness, I think also for lots of people, we have this paradox right now, because the time is speeding. That the week is like a day, and the day is like a few hours. But in the same time, because of the corona, most of us are completely thrown from our routine. This means going to work, watching Netflix, whatever most of the people do, unfortunately. They start to feel like, oh, I don't need to wake up. Oh, I don't know what day is today, doesn't matter. Oh, I don't have a due date or date, how you say it, the deadline, and some people are gonna go to severe depressed because of that, because their whole life they were living by the deadline. And it's this interesting expression too, deadline.
Like decoding words constantly all the time. There's so much spells in our words that we use. It's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty funny when you start.
So they are in this paradox right now. In one way, the time goes so fast, and another way, they are released from that kind of, obligation to time. So they can experience more timelessness right now.
So the more they try to constrict us, the more we become free. That's where it's biting them in the ass, the, ones that are trying to bring more and more control. Because again, this whole thing, it's like I wrote down the other day, from the depths of darkness comes the brightest light. Or reaches, I forgot what words I use exactly, but reaches out like the brightest light. And they've pushed us to such a, and maybe in the higher way, that was our plan, our agreement as souls, as everybody, to experience this, to know ourselves. That's why God, the Creator, is getting to know, Himself through us. And so I kind of lost my train of thought, but we're just birthing through that whole new realities through this whole experience. And we are going to be breaking the illusion of time. And the one thing that I wanted to say, though, is the biggest war is against the children, because the children are the most powerful creators. Children are extremely, extremely important. Yeah, I can't talk about this right now.
They don't understand the construct of time yet. Kids, they don't understand construct of time. They just are present in the moment. And they use their imagination, because the things that they start, experience very often they don't have names yet. They just, everything is the mystery. They look at the chair, but they don't know the word chair yet, you know. Chair can be a horse, chair can be a, you know, magic, you know, tent or whatever.
Yeah, it's about trapping their thought forms, because they're the strongest manifestors. That's why they have the strongest life force energy. They're the strongest creators that can imagine the new, where we break the illusion of time, is exactly what you're saying. They don't have a concept of time yet. That's why everything that the system does is to start putting time. In some way, kids are more constricted by time here, especially in America, than adults, because, you know, as you go further and further, even in the schooling system, you get to start picking your classes, what time you want to have them. You have more flexibility, you know, you're not, but as a child, it's literally like by law, you know, every child has to be, you are this time, that time, and then it's just everything, even the school, the way that they do the hours, practically when there's the most sun outside, which is the most you could create a lot during that time, because the sun is just full of information. It's charging them, it's cleaning them, and they're sitting in their classes. And so right now it's just, I mean, it's a big topic. I want to talk about that on a whole separate audio recording when we have a moment. But the kids, they are being hardcore mind controlled because they can create whole new realities, which also, when you actually start putting fear into kids, they are creating the negative realities too. That's why the systems that they want to program them into those types of manifestors. That's why they're programming them through, you know, TV and everything. Everything is really about the kids. So they keep looping the reality, recreating the same, you know, agenda-based system. That's why, like the song, "Hey, teacher, leave them kids alone." It's true, leave them kids alone, because they don't want to leave the kids alone, because the kids, if we leave the kids alone, well, sooner than we think, we're going to look around and we're going to be like, when did this happen? We're going to be in a whole new reality, creative. We're creator beings. We don't have to live in square apartments. We can, if a 3D printer can print out the different shapes and patterns and all of that, like, we can live in unbelievable structures with art, with just so much beauty. But the biggest war is against the psyche, against the mind, and the strongest war first is at the kids, because they, again, are the most potent, powerful creators.